Hey guys, YouTubers. My name is Jason with Drop Top Campers, and we do pop-up truck camper rental here in Albany, Oregon. And it's mid-November here, and the sun is always shining like this in mid-November in Oregon. Well, not always, but it's been a beautiful fall. Good opportunity actually to catch up on some little short videos. And today, I'd like to do just a short tutorial of the process of tying down the camper. I know there's lots of videos out there. I'm not going to try and pretend to have anything better than what a lot of guys have already done, but this is more specifically designed for you, the truck owner, who does not have your own tie-down system. And so what we provide is a camper and all of the tie-down options. So all you have to do is show up with your truck. And so this video is all about that. What can you expect when you show up to get one of our pop-up truck campers loaded on your truck? So here we go. As you can see, I've done this a few times with this specific camper and this specific truck, and I'm familiar as to what I'm watching for when I'm backing in. I know my clearances and so on, so it's much easier. In that case, it took me one shot. It might take us a couple shots if we go with a different combination. But so what I did is I backed in tight, right up to where the rubber bumpers on the front of the camper are just kissing up against the back of my bed of my truck. And you don't want it too tight, you don't want it too loose. I think we're right where we need to be. And then so from here, I'll lower the camper with my handy drill here. This is the cheap way of avoiding electric jacks. We'll go corner to corner, lowering it and watching to make sure that it's lined up properly. We'll go systematically. So I like to, in general, try and lower the jacks in some kind of a sequence. Usually front, then back, front, then back. But on these smaller campers, they're pretty forgiving. As a matter of fact, they'll stand on 3 legs, no problem. So, okay, before I put the front all the way down, I've got here for the plug, so you've got all your power to trickle charge the battery as well as your turn signals and so on. Runs off this plug, and want to remember to run it down the line here. In my pickup, I've got a couple different places to plug it, but I'll just run it all the way down and plug it right into the bumper. One of the very first things I usually do before I put the camper on is test the lights. And one of these little testers you can get at the local parts store, of course all the online, Amazon, eBay, for 10 bucks. These little guys, super handy if you are towing trailers and boats and so on, especially if your truck's been sitting. Hey, you know, it's typical. The last time you used it, it worked, and now you're trying to get out in the dark and your lights aren't working. So plug this little guy in, and then you can test, and there's a series of lights here that tell you which function is operating, and I do that, and then plug your camper in, and you've got your tail lights there. So from each camper to the next, some of our rigs have the wraparound which cover your tail lights. So it requires, it's very important that your wiring to your truck works properly. Some of the rigs we have basically have that section eliminated, and then you can show up in a jalopy and it doesn't matter if your own truck lights will be visible, so you're okay. But yeah, test your lights before you come. Could save a lot of headaches for once you arrive. So in most cases, we'll then remove the jacks, and it drops. If we remove the jacks, it drops over 100 pounds of cargo, and also these are one of the highest areas of damage, hitting tree stumps and them being in the down position and forgetting and driving off, and it rips off the side of the camper. So we remove the jacks, and it's simple. There's just 3 little bolts, and I'll go ahead and pull these off. After we've got the jack removed, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to leave the other ones on. A couple of tie-down options for the front, and this will depend a little bit on which specific camper and the year, make, and model of your truck. One of the products that's out there that I'm sure a lot of camper folks are familiar with are the Brophy tie-down, and this design is designed to sort of sit over the top of the bed rail of your truck, right up in here, and then the bracket sticks out, and then it gives you an anchor point to tie down to the camper. It's got foam pads underneath, and these are pretty handy. They take just a few minutes to install on each side, and as a matter of fact, we can just do 4 on all 4 corners if your truck works. And there's lots of video tutorials on this design here. Here's another one made by Brophy. I prefer this design. Again, this is my pickup. I leave these on here all the time. In the case of this one, pop on the anchor point. That's what I do for my pickup. And another option is right here. This one happens to be a 3,000 pound braking strength tie down, and I put a shackle up here, stainless steel shackle. And what I'll do with this hook is pretty much every truck out there has an excellent anchor point right near the frame. There's the support joints under the bed of the truck, or there's the frame member itself. So there's always something to grab to, and I'll run my 3,000 pound strap. And what I've done here is I've wrapped it with a sleeve protector. That way the strap itself doesn't get burrs and nicks, and as soon as you nick one of these, or if it gets long-term water damage, if it's a material that's going to rot, as soon as you nick it, you've hugely decreased its strength. So I like to be real careful, and then I kind of have it set up that I can pull it back and easily inspect the strap. So I run it up underneath here. Again, for the sake of the video, I won't reach up underneath there. And I've got this this soft felt cushion, and I like to use this because the strap will be in at an angle, at a slight angle, and I like to then take the felt strap and our protector, wrap it around the strap, and then it's protecting, so protect against any chance of rubbing on paint or what have you. It protects the strap as well. So then I'll just tighten it down. It's wrapped around something like this, nice and tidy and clean, and this is basically all that you see. Works great. I've had campers out for hundreds and hundreds of days now, and this tie-down system's worked really well for me. Okay, so on my truck, I really like these Happy Jack pins. You can get them online, the whole kit for about 50 bucks, and they've just got a flat washer in the back and then this little hook plate there, and you hook your turnbuckle just like so. And that works pretty good if you've got a chrome bumper, and you might consider putting those on if you're going to consider buying your own truck. If this is something you're just trying out, or rent your own camper, if you're just trying out a rental to see how it's going to work on your truck, those are a pretty decent option. Again, we've got the bed rail mounted Brophy tie down that could mount on the rear there to tie down the camper. And this ends up being a very typically universal option. Almost every truck has a receiver hitch, and so we can use a hitch mounted tie down bar. And these are great. We've got various different options. We've got some units that are designed with extensions in the event that your camper's hanging out a little bit and you're still pulling a lightweight trailer, a boat, something of that nature. So we've got you covered there. These are adjustable in and out, so they're pretty universal to most every truck. And then we've got our tie down turnbuckle that just hooks in like that. And that ends up being a pretty universal way to tie down the camper, and it's extremely quick. Usually we've already got it worked out in our head what's going to be best for your truck. You don't have to decide any of these options. You don't have to stew over it and research it. We'll take the year, make, and model of your truck and your scenario in the event you were towing something in addition, and we'll have something that'll work for you. So that's it. We've got a Northstar TC650 loaded on a Dodge Ram 1500, and that's the TC650 is the design for short bed trucks, half ton or 3/4 ton. And I hope you enjoyed that video. Hopefully it helped clear up any questions you might have, and if you have any more questions, feel free to write them down below, or go to droptopcampers.com, and there's some more pictures there and more information about tie downs. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you on the next video.